Not right now, Alex. I'm busy with science. And steady, steady, and yes! Okay, so I may have gotten bored and invented something. Go away, Jordan. No, I'm not going to make you a new outfit. Not right now, Alex. I'm busy with science. going to make you a new outfit.
Hello, everyone. So, yeah, I probably will. Do you need more people for tonight's stream? You know what? For the first hour, I probably will. I love how this community is like saying hello to each other in chat. It's very nice. Okay. So as you can see, we're working on Academy City. Academy City. We have basic design. I'm by myself right now because Fel is working on Mega Man stuff and Calvin's not home. They knew we had to work on this today. So I am feeling kind of sore at them. I'm also sore just in general because yesterday I was working at my aunt and uncle's place and I was removing trees from their yard in order to expand the yard. So my forearms, well, just my arms in general, are on fire. And that's how that is. Yeah. Enjoy that. So, yeah. Calvin asked me to stall for him for an hour. I don't know how to stall for an hour. I was not expecting everybody to not be available. Mm-hmm. I mean, I could talk gaming stuff because I've been playing Destiny 2 a bunch. Well, Jared, you're not going to see one for the first hour at the very least because I can't work on Jack. Unless Fel gets here pretty effing soon. Just fucking wing it. Yeah, that's not my forte. Yoshimi, that's not at all accurate. Also, his name is spelled Tobi, with an I, not a Y. And you capitalize his name. He's important. He's definitely enjoying the amount of floor space that there is now. Right, Toby? Yeah. We'll turn on that vacuum and watch you just haul ass. That'll be funny. At least to me. Oops. I love how literally I had somebody ask, hey, do I need people for tonight's stream? And literally I say yes and nobody jumped in. Gonna be playing Genshin Impact while listening? Man, I haven't played Genshin in forever. It's been like, what, a week and a half, somewhere around there? Lately it's all been Destiny. It's been either Phasmophobia or Destiny. And we've got In Silence coming out, so. No, there is no Y in Toby's name. Don't misspell his name. Nice, yeah. I'm having a lot of fun on D2 right now. Now I'm hooked. You're hooked. Man, yeah, we got Calvin hooked on Destiny as well. Like he was playing it yesterday and I was like, "Oh ho, I see you playing." I jumped in and joined him. There we go. See? Sonic knows how to spell his name. Alright. Oh shit, that's another thing I gotta start working on. I gotta make a new Patreon video for everybody. Well, for the channel, I have to make it. All right. Anybody catch the new episode of The Mandalorian? Sorry. The reason I was so quiet right there is I was actually thinking up dialogue for a potential Patreon video. I saw the new episode. Holy cow, man! It was so good. It was so good. All right, where are we going? Lo-fi. Let's look for some lo-fi shenanigans. Okay. Hey. Did I get funny? There we go. Cool. Now this is just lo-fi, so hopefully we won't get in trouble for having this. You don't have Disney Plus. Well, that's not my fault. I'm paying for... I'll just approve the charge because it says Fat Dogs. Ah! Yeah. It's the Imperial March meets the Mandalorian meets meets the Duel of Fates. Let's see. Oh shit, yeah. I don't think he made the server yet, but Calvin's supposed to be making a server soon. There's a new series that is going to be worked on by Calvin, who's going to be directing, and also my brother, Jason. They're both going to be working on a new series. I can't tell you much about it other than it's called FMAL, and you guys are going to love it. It's kind of a funny, strange, dark comedy. You guys are going to... which is exactly something that we need from our original projects, because we've got 2 serious projects that have bits of humor in them. Well, this is a comedy that has bits of seriousness. That's pretty cool. It was a project that Connor and I worked on together, but like it kind of died off and went nowhere, and I was like, we need to give this to people who will want to do something with it. And Calvin is one of those people, because he's like overly happy with this. Ah, well, congratulations, Sonic. This is the first Infinity Friday that I think I've really had to do solo. I mean, I may have had to do one solo before, but like never to this degree. Like, all right, let's do Q&A while we're waiting. Anybody got any questions about Infinity's Light that they want to know answers for? Though I at this point in time, I think we should probably have an FAQ. Like, what is Infinity's Light? Well, there's a trailer for that on the channel if you want to know what Infinity's Light is. Oh. I'm gonna lean back. Okay. I'm actually gonna do a thing. Hold on a second, guys. I'm gonna mute. And now that I'm no longer messing with my mic, I will unmute so you guys can hear me better, hopefully. How are you all doing? Is that better? Can you all hear me better now? Quite a bit louder. I'm closer now. Alrighty. Yeah, it should be a lot louder now. Okay, there we go. Good stuff. Sounds good. Sounds good. Also, hi, Serpent. Alright. We don't have any art for this because, like, there's no art to talk about for Academy City because that's the reason we were supposed to have this conversation today about getting everything fleshed out with Academy City. It's literally so we can hit the Sunday deadline. I can send this off to Laz for Sunday, and he will have it to actually start building it and drawing it, because we're literally building a city. We have civil engineering, but it's probably going to need to be named something else. I got that in it, and our friend has streamers just... Okay, that's a lot heavier than I was expecting, Sonic. Thank you for that. I feel real bad October. Okay. Wow, that throws me up. You guys realize I read all your comments, so... Oh boy. Well, most of the time I try to. There are moments where I'm not going to be able to. I'm just stopping by to call someone a Dave. So, Dave. That's funny. Well, thanks for stopping by, Mig. Calling someone a Dave. We appreciate it. Don't just spontaneously come in here and call someone a Dave. That's the most Dave thing to do. Don't be a Dave. There you go. So yeah, only our executive producers know about this, but merch. Fat Dog is finally working on merch. We've got several designs. We're not going to talk about them. But get hype for merch that you don't know anything about unless you're an executive producer. And then you know all about it. It's another reason to become an executive producer. All the shit you get to... Oh, also our executive producers get first dibs on all the merch. I make no denials that I'm a Dave, but I claim I'm not the worst one. Oh, there you go. Anybody got any questions? Infinity's Light questions? Usually by answering questions, it gets things going. It gets the creative process of moving along. Sugar mega awesome dab on super mega awesome dab on the haters and not Dave. Just because you quote words back at me that I wrote does not mean that you actually are those things. When do you predict the first release will be? The first release of merch? I make no predictions. We don't know. Names of characters in the bottom's concept. Oh. Names of the characters in the concept art that's in the bottom? Okay. Should not be too terribly trouble. Look at the voice chat. Oh. Well, this is BS. Hi, Calvin.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes. How did you work this out? What magic did you conjure?
Well, the reason I was out of the house was because I was doing something for Radio Free Brooklyn, and so I have all of my equipment here at a remote location. And the owner of this remote location was nice enough to let me stay here a little longer so I can do this.
This is gonna be about a 2-hour thing. You sure you don't want to head home?
It would take me an hour to get home.
Oh dear Lord.
I figured I would take an hour here and try to get a little something done with you here.
Do you have access to the Google Doc thing, the Google Drive? I mean, clearly you have access to Discord.
Yes.
All right. So, okay, so we can work on it that way. Fella's working on Mega Man stuff right now, which I understand that, but like, it's a bummer. Guys, all the lines for episode 11 are done, so I guess what I get to tell Calvin to do tomorrow. Yep.
You get to boss me around.
I get to tell you, hey,
and tell me
please.
what to do.
I get to tell you, hey, please clean up all the lines for episode 11 of Log Horizon Abridged. Now that they've been recorded. Funny enough, recording's the thing that takes the longest out of the entire process. I think it takes, like, editing-wise, I think it's maybe like a week and a half, 2 weeks for the entire edit. But it can take up to 2 to 3 weeks to get everybody to record all their lines. Then it's, like, a couple days for cleanup, like a day or two to cut all the lines, and hand them to Ray, who usually gets a functioning video visual representation done in about 4 or 5 days. Well, 3 to 5 days, depending on the project. And then, which reminds me, we've got to cut one more thing of lines for Slime 7. Why did they have to have so much reverb? Grr. Alright. But yeah, Slime 7 will be moving on to video format, hopefully this weekend. Oh, there's a Char.
Hello, I am here.
Yep. Calvin,
How's
how'd
everything
you mo-
going?
I mean, terribly, but that's to be expected.
Everything is
Wow,
terrible.
It
way
is-
to start on a downer.
Yeah, it's going just as terribly as we predicted it would. It's great news for the audience. It's absolutely a fucking nightmare for us. We have deadlines. We don't want to work through Christmas, so we're trying. At the very least, here's Calvin. This is how I've got it figured out in my head. All right, so we're gonna have Slime 7 out within like the next 2 weeks.
Oh, sweet.
Hold on. Slime 7
Okay.
done in the next 2 weeks. We'll probably have LHA 11 done, hopefully, or at least mostly finished before December. And then the last 2 weeks, the first 2 weeks of December, which is going to be all hands on deck on the Christmas special. Just go. So,
Wow.
Yeah, we're
Yeah, that
gonna
does
The
sound
next
like
2
a
weeks-
mess.
have to go hard
so-
on the Christmas
so-
special.
so here's the thing about the Christmas special. We have to sit, we're not allowed to do anything or go anywhere until it's done on Sunday. So Sunday is working on the Christmas special. That's what that is.
Wow.
Once it's written, then we can just be like, we can hit up all the people and be like, hey, record your lines. It's going to be one of those kind of tight moments. We've had some fantastically horrible ideas for the Fruits Basket one shot. That is our Christmas special. Commander raid that shit. Oh, bro. I mean, if I can get down into it, like if Calvin and I can actually sit down and get into it, I think we could probably knock the script out in a couple of hours, because I've already got a good bit going. The other scary part is going to be contacting Ray and making sure he can get the he can somehow get the original Fruits Basket, because what we're using is the 2001 version of Fruits Basket.
The original?
Yeah, the original Fruits Basket, not the 1990 or the 2019 version. The 2001 version.
Mhm.
So that's going to be a thing. All right, Calvin, I have the thing up on the screen when you are ready. Well, apparently he is not ready. He muted again.
That ain't good.
Alright. I don't know how long it's gonna be for Fel. Did Fel post in Fat Dog that we were live?
I believe he did.
Okay. Cause I'm not in the servers, so I wouldn't know.
Let me check. Yeah, he did.
Cool.
But right now it's just us talking. Awkward silence.
Fel Valev. Oh, Matthew.
Wait, Calvin's unmuted. That's a good sign.
It usually is. Mm-hmm.
You know the saying silence is golden?
Duct tape is silver. Okay. Calvin, hello. No, can't hear him. No, that's you, not him.
Oh.
Aha!
Can you
I
hear me
heard.
now?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Yep.
Okay.
Not
there we
awkward
go.
silence, it's dramatic pause. No, that's not dramatic pause. Can you know what's going on here? Well, we haven't technically started yet, but welcome to Infinity Fridays. It's where we work on one of our original projects called Infinity's Light. And today we're working on building Academy City from the ground up.
Ooh.
Yep. So to ensure I know who's whom, the good sir I've been speaking with. Hi, I'm Richie. This is...
Hi, I am... Oh, sorry, you first.
Go ahead. That's Char.
I am Shara Zorel. I am one of the voice actors.
Not
And
for
I'm Calvin.
Not for Infinity's Light. We haven't cast anyone for Infinity's Light.
Right, sorry. I am a voice actor for Fat Dog Studios.
Yeah, that's true.
There you go. I'm Calvin. I audio edit. And I have stupid ideas just like Richie.
He also composes our entire fucking soundtrack. Don't let him downplay that shit.
There's
Wow.
also that.
You're not allowed to downplay this bullshit. You literally wrote a lo-fi for us. It's great. And no, the lo-fi is not what you're hearing. I'll play some of Calvin's music that he made for Infinity's Light. Let's thoroughly embarrass him in the background. Yes.
Ah, fine, if you insist.
Oh, please. You're not even slightly embarrassed, and that's the funny thing.
Not in the least. Out of all the things I do, like, my music is the least thing I'm embarrassed about.
So what is the thing you're most embarrassed about? Just out of
Living.
curiosity. You
Being
said
alive.
out of all the things I do, music is the thing you're least embarrassed about. What's the thing you're most embarrassed about?
Being alive and existing.
I knew he wasn't going to seriously say it over a stream. Do not incriminate yourself in front of the entire internet, Calvin.
Too late.
Of all the things I've murdered, I will miss you the most. What?
Aww.
I actually do have stuffed animals, and I'm not embarrassed about that at all.
Oh, I have Animu stuffed plushies and stuff. Does that count?
I believe that counts.
Cool.
Are they stuffed?
They are.
I know at least one of them is.
Yeah. Well, the Rimuru, the Happy, the Mario, the
If I could get a
Natsu,
plush Rimuru, I would be happy.
the Gara, the Naruto, the Pokemon egg. You know, they're all stuffed. So I think that counts. The egg isn't technically an animal. It's an egg. But it's a stuffed egg.
It's still cute.
Good evening. Oh, wow. Okay, yeah, so what you're hearing is called All in Jest. There are two other versions of this song. I think we're going to go to Waiting in Jest next. It's the same song, but done differently. This is Waiting in Jest. Ba-doop-a-doo-doo-doo.
Didn't expect to see you here. I'm petting a cat right now.
Aww.
And it jumped on my lap. Oh, do not be sorry. I enjoyed that.
How much is a lap prance worth? About $3.50. Oh, lesbian of the lake, what is your wisdom? It's a Togepi. There you go.
There we go.
And for
Now,
I have
now I
problems.
have a cat in my lap.
All right, who's the date that disliked this video already?
I mean, somebody's always going to. That's just how it go.
I've made a new friend.
Making friends
Hope
is
it's
good.
me.
I figured we were already friends. We could be
I don't
friends
know.
then.
That's true.
And now my friend left.
Aww. Oh, someone else is here. Hello.
Halt! Who goes there?
How dare you tell me to halt?
Aha! So it's
Hey,
actually somebody.
Sal.
It's actually somebody who needs to be here.
Gee, thanks.
You're welcome. It was mostly. Finally, the third person is here. We can work. All right. It's now time.
Oh, you could have been working.
No,
No,
actually,
not really.
Calvin wasn't here initially. It was just me sitting around for like the first.
Okay,
like,
first
15
off, who disliked the video?
You see? Oh, no,
I
wait.
liked how I get blamed. It was probably Foul that disliked it. What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Oh, the dislike is gone.
Ah,
Good.
Yeah, now we have 12 likes. Yay.
All right, good.
To be clear, guys,
this is.
why would I dislike the project I'm working on?
I love that. I love that. I'm literally playing Serenity is just, and we're hearing Fel just be like anything but serene.
Because apparently,
It's like
I
this
am being
lovely calming
accused-
music, and he's just like.
Because apparently, I am being accused of disliking the
Accused.
wonderful project.
Such
we're working on.
accusations. Such accusations.
It is such
According-
accusations. Why
according-
would I be
According to
serene
the
about
chat,
it?
because felt sus. According to John Go.
Yeah,
Fucking
okay, we're not
sus.
I don't
Playing
know,
Among
John. I think you're looking kind of sus. Why you try to throw Fel under the bus?
actually, I'm blaming Serpent. Serpent is sus.
Mm. Serpent does seem like the kind of person that would accidentally press the downvote button. Yeah.
Oh, now it has two. Why do we have two dislikes?
How dare you?
Because you pointed out the fact that we had a dislike, so now somebody had to do it for the lulz.
Screw you.
Also, maybe they're just mad that it's not Log Horizon.
Could be. Oh, now we have 3.
Okay, the people are.
Now
just
we're being
trolling.
trolled. Now we're just being trolled.
Yeah, now we're being. Oh my God, Ford.
4 now.
Oh no.
You think you're being funny and that you're messing with the algorithm, but now Tony's gonna tell us to stop streaming.
Yeah.
Oh,
There we go.
No, do not, guys. Don't really mess with the algorithm for real.
You're like, oh my god, it's funny. And I'm like, yeah, it's all fun and games until the show that you're like, oh hey, check that out, is gone. Hey, by the way, we have 48 members on r/Fat Dog Studios. By the way, if you did not know, we have a subreddit.
I forgot about the subreddit.
Yeah,
should
we have
probably
a
join.
subreddit.
Did you know we have a subreddit? Because we have a subreddit.
It is not made of velour. It is a cheap, tacky leather.
it is
Aw.
not even real leather. It's pleather.
Oh god, that's so much worse.
Oh my God. All right.
Okay, I'm updating the thing. Okay. There. I have now officially updated the description, so if you refresh, the description should now contain the subreddit link. Pleather. I just said it was cheap tacky leather. It could be flannel and leather. That's the ugliest thing ever.
Oof.
Pleather is a thing. It's fake leather made from polyurethane.
I know
That's-
what pleather is,
Or
but
No, somebody in chat asked pleather.
yeah.
Yeah, it's polyurethane leather or plastic leather.
Yeah.
I just thought that was plastic in general.
Pleather is too good for this stream. We're more of a tacky flannel kind of type material. And not even good stuff. I mean, like, is 4 years old, has holes all in it, not even worth a hunter's time. You know,
Oof.
a good old boy wouldn't even wear it. Holy shit, we have 21 people watching us. Thank you guys so
Woohoo!
much.
Hey,
Fake
right
leather
on.
is where it's at. Fake cow skin. This is essentially how this
I mean,
goes.
it could be spandex.
I remember when Uggs were all the rage back in the day.
No, a spandex couch. That's blasphemy.
Oh, God!
Oh no.
I'm joking.
Polyurethane is made from Polysure sweat glands. 21 people, no pressure. There's never any pressure here. We're just gonna be us, which is absolute dicks. We're just gonna be ourselves, and
Yes,
if-
exactly.
yeah.
I'm gonna try not to be a dick, but I don't know.
I mean, it is a bit tougher for you.
What, because I'm a woman?
Yeah, I was gonna say because you're a vagina, but that's also true. It's actually easiest for me to be a dick. On top of being male, my name is Richard. So there we
That's
go.
true.
Where people are coming once it's 1 hour in. Oh no! Well, they didn't know. They didn't know. All right, so here we go.
All right.
Let's do. No, not said sneakers. Yeah. Nah, actually downtime. All right. So we have to basically get Academy City kind of like described in the civil engineering thing that Calvin put together in order to turn that into Laz, because Laz is going to be doing a build of Academy City from multiple angles that we can send over to Tina to 3D model, unless Laz 3D models it on his own without us asking him to, because he also does that. Turns out his day job is actually 3D modeling architecture, so
Ah.
this is exactly down his alley, so he might actually 3D model it, in which case I now have to ask him how much a 3D modeling thing costs, and that's going to be a thing that we have to raise money for. It's always fun to raise money for Infinity's Light. What the fuck? I can't even say the name of my own creation right. It's the oubliette for Matt Mercer. What have you done? Go! Run! Now! Ah! Alright, so yeah, we're stupid. Don't ask us questions. We'll probably lie to you anyway. At least we're honest about it. So yeah. It's like, don't ask me questions, I'll tell you no lies. I'm like, nah, we're probably gonna lie to you.
Sounds about right.
There's an academy. No, okay. All right. So,
In the academy.
okay. So first off, it's a crater. It is at least 400 miles in diameter, and I looked that up. It was
Dang.
roughly 640 kilometers. So I did my due diligence on that, especially because the guy that we're talking to, that Laz, that is going to be drawing all of that, he lives in Spain, and they don't, they don't use
they have the metric
The imperial system
They
does
don't.
not exist.
Yeah,
over
the
there.
imperial system does not. Like, come on, man. When are we going to stop being an imperialist nation?
Never, because we're
That's true.
America.
No. See, we're too much. We're acting too much like England's little stepchild. Metric is better. I agree. All right. Somewhat upside down, conically shaped. Conically shaped?
Conically, I thought.
Canonically.
Conically. I'm assuming you wrote that.
Most likely.
Yeah. City at lower elevations have platforms around the crater in ring shape similar to large terraces. A giant tower stands in the center. The top almost reaches the lip of the crater in height. It is the site where the monks live. Okay. That part we're good on.
All right, cool.
We've already talked about how the water can run up. Okay. At the top of the crater is the residential and farming districts.
Districts sound good.
Mm-hmm. The water that is pushed out of the crater forms rivers and tributaries. Wow, that geography class back in high school is really paying off now.
I never took geography.
I remember
school.
rivers and tributaries. I remember tributaries. No idea how to spell it, but I know how to say it.
Tributar.
One of the few things I remember from high school, but then
You got it
again,
right.
that was because this was drilled into my brain. Mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell.
Serpent, we didn't necessarily beat up the abusive parent. It's more like we kind of lucked out, but then we turned right around and started acting like England a little bit. So,
What?
yeah.
What about abusive parent?
America versus Britain. They're talking about the Revolutionary
Ah.
War. It's so funny
Ah.
how we're like, we beat the shit out of the British. And I'm like, actually, most quote unquote Americans did not actually want to leave British rule. It was a bunch of stuffy old white men who didn't want to pay taxes. Go look up some Revolutionary War history and learn all the shit that your general education just basically did not tell you, because they're just like, we're gonna tell you the
Americanized version.
the government approved version. Well, I wouldn't necessarily say it's government approved, but it's like
The sanitized version.
yeah, the sanitized version. That's
I do
probably the
remember
best.
back when I was in 5th grade, we were first learning about U.S. history, and for some reason I always thought, oh, the British were bad guys, the Americans are good guys. And then I got into AP U.S. history when I was in 9th grade, and I'm like,
Only when you
Everybody's
grow up.
It's so
it's when
good.
you become an adult and you realize how many other adults are absolutely like winging it and full of shit and scared to hell, that you realize that your history not quite what you thought it was, and then you go back and
pretty
look at
much.
it and you're like, oh, this entire time I thought Americans good, British bad. Well, it turns out Americans bad, British bad. No one's good.
yup.
The truth is, no one was good.
Dun dun dun.
Dun dun dun.
Gasp.
Egats. Everyone is a Dave. There you go.
That's accurate.
Anyway, I'd like to know.
And someone asked in the chat what we are working on.
Well, I mean, I can't keep answering the same question. I'm sorry.
So I'll answer it. We're
No.
working on an original content.
Phil,
What?
I've answered it twice already. This
Well, I'm being
this
nice.
is-
I just
yes,
answered it once.
yes. All right. From now on, it is chat's job to answer those questions, because we're not going to be able to stop and do that. Just chat. You now have responsibilities. Please do them. All
Don't
right.
be a Dave and mess this up.
Don't be a Dave. Yes. Get it right. Don't fuck it up like a Dave. All right. Anyway, all right. So here we are. At the top of the crater is the residential and farming districts. Water that forms rivers and tributaries that are used for farming and irrigation. Is that good?
Yeah, that sounds right.
Pushed. ED, not push.
ED.
Man, if I could just stop fat fingering certain letters to make it look like I don't know how to fucking spell, that'd be great. Alrighty, moving on. Okay, so we've got water. Sources can be generated from ruins, collected from rain. Water flows up the crater to prevent flooding, is purified at the top. As the water passes up the outside of the crater, the water is purified using a purification barrier before reaching the lip of the crater. The downward flow of liquid waste is done underground. I kind of almost want to say it's like a reverse Omashu. Because in a way it is. Market prices to everything.
Omashu?
Have you not seen Avatar: The Last Airbender? What I almost
I
say
have not.
builder.
Wait, you haven't seen Avatar?
Not at all.
What?
Here's the thing. I can't remember. I saw Avatar: The Last Airbender. I can't remember which kingdom Omashu is because they went to so many places.
Omashu is where Boomy is from.
Yep.
Right. Yes.
The crazy old man Boomy.
Okay. So wait, Calvin, you haven't seen Avatar?
Nope.
I think it's still on Netflix. I don't know though.
Oh, it's all on Netflix.
It's all on Netflix. So Calvin,
Watch it.
yeah.
You know, I
Yeah,
would have
true.
said that. I would have said that. However, there's a small problem in the matter of he's got a shit ton of work to do.
I mean, when he can.
On top of all the other things that I need to watch.
Avatar's number one on the list now.
It's-
Sorry.
No,
Not
it's
really.
Not really. No.
I don't know. People keep on telling me to watch stuff like One Piece, and I'm like, I don't want to get started on that.
You need to watch One Piece. It's really good. Story is.
There it
amazing.
is.
See, my argument is Avatar's shorter, and it's only 3 seasons.
Nobody says you have to watch it all in one go. Just
That's
bits at
true.
a time. It's going to seem
But I also-
overwhelming because it's like over 900 episodes, but you know what? It's going to take you even longer if you keep putting it off, and then it's like over 1,000 or 1,100, and you're sitting there like, oh my God. And it's like, yeah, man. Like the longer you put it off, the worse it gets.
Yeah, that's true. That's pretty much what's been happening with I started watching the show Monster. It's a good show,
I don't know what that is.
but I've just been putting it off.
Okay, so Fel, you know what Omashu is.
What?
You at least know what Omashu is.
Yeah, I know where you're talking
Yeah.
about. Yes.
Calvin, this
Mm.
this is Omashu. If it'll let me post the damn thing. There we go. That is Omashu. It's literally built like that, and they have these. Oh boy. They have these tracks to send supplies down, up and down, and they kind of curve around the city and stuff. But you know, I thought maybe everybody. I made the mistake of thinking everybody here had seen Avatar: The Last Airbender. I don't know what your 2000s was like, Calvin, but mine included Avatar: The Last Airbender, and I was an adult, so no.
Mine
excuses.
was PBS Kids all the way through. My parents did not want me watching cable when I was a kid.
Nickelodeon.
Nick, Nickelodeon.
But
That's also probably why I don't like SpongeBob,
Cactus Juice.
because I never grew up with it.
I never watched SpongeBob. Yeah. That was one of those few shows. Like Avatar was one of the few shows that I was like, I will watch this Nickelodeon show even though I'm an adult because it's really deep and interesting.
It is. It reminds me a lot of like
Avatar: The
Batman
Last
the Animated
Airbender?
Series in terms of its depth.
Avatar: The Last Airbender is one of those rare moments where it feels like America made an anime. And then Korra, I really like that as well. And I know there
Yeah,
are
I
people
liked
that are
Korra.
gonna-
I don't get why people crap on it so
yeah,
much.
I don't understand why people hate on it. They're like, Avatar is so good. I'm like, yeah, of course it is. It's
I
more or
think
less
it's just because
it's more or less because Avatar is kind of your childish innocence, whereas Korra is like becoming an adult, moving off to college, and then finding out the world is crappy.
I think the issue people have with Korra is just the way how the network treated it. I know that was a major issue.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like it's so funny how Nickelodeon begged and begged for an Avatar: The Last Airbender sequel, and then when they got it, they were like, "Yeah, I don't want it."
No,
So,
that's literally what happened.
yeah, pretty much. 3 seasons in, and they were like, "Yeah, I don't want this." Like, well,
Yeah,
hey,
they
man.
did kind of end it abruptly.
Yeah, there's reasons, but I'm not. I overall, I really liked it.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, moving on from there, we got stuck on the Omashu thing. Okay.
It's because I see what you were doing with the city, though.
Yeah. It's kind of like a reverse Omashu. Pardon me. It's like a reverse Omashu. That's what I was trying to say through a yawn. I don't know why I was yawning.
Probably because it's like close to 10 o'clock.
Okay, you call seeing your entire civilization dead, all your friends are dead, and you have 4 months to fix the world. Literally, yes. I call it childish innocence because that show, even though it had heavy themes, still very
I
childish.
guess it was
based on
presented
how-
through the eyes of a childish avatar.
Yeah, it was. All right, the reason why Korra and Aang are so different is because the time in which we get to see them. Aang is very much still a child, and he's slowly, like, at the beginning, he's a child who is running away from responsibility. At the end, he is a child that is embracing responsibility. Schmuck Dog Studios, any thoughts? Yeah, Schmucks and Fat Dog should stay separate, but we can work with each other.
In fact, we have been, I think.
Yeah, kind of in a way. And I know that sounds kind of sketch because it almost sounds like I'm saying separate but equal, but no, that's not what I mean. The Schmucks cannot absorb us. That's not how this goes.
2 separate entities.
2 separate entities. We are not Fox to their Disney. This is
Right,
not going to be a
exactly.
merger. And have you done...
I mean, we've always done collaborations
Yeah. All right.
with different studios.
Moving from there. All right, so I think we're good on describing the water and stuff. Like, I wanted to have some. When I say I wanted this more fleshed out, I wanted to talk a little bit about the buildings. Like, okay, and where do we have like the nature areas, like the parks, stuff like that. Like,
Okay.
things like that. Yeah,
All
back
right,
to back to the reason we're here.
So a question I wanted to bring up. Obviously, this area is surrounded by okay, so around the crater, what exactly is around the city? If I can ask. Obviously we know it's in a crater, but is there
Hold on a
life
second.
around the crater? Is there a forest? Is there need to be a park in the city if they're so connected to nature, if it's basically surrounding them?
Dude, the city is 400 square miles.
Okay, but that
Yes, there needs to be nature existing in the city because to them, they need a balance of the two. And if you're just like, oh, well, all the stuff is up top, then.
well, no, that's not what I meant.
Oh,
I was,
okay.
I was asking about the surrounding area. Like, how diverse are the nature? Are we looking at things that, like, I'm thinking, like, are we looking at something like New York Central Park, in a sense?
No, we're looking at more of what Tokyo is, where they have
Okay.
a lot of nature around
That's-
in Tokyo. Yeah.
That's what I was trying to.
So grab some images of that real quick so we can start looking at that. Actually, I'm gonna do that because I want the chat to be able to see this.
Okay. Sorry.
No, you're good. You're
can
good.
see what you can see what I'm getting
Nature
at. Not
in
more.
Tokyo. Okay.
Hang on, I didn't see it.
Okay.
Okay, there we go.
So the thing is about Tokyo, it is very much a big city, but they also have like little nature parks and stuff. Nature parks in Tokyo. Like they have places that are this is still Tokyo. You can see bits of it in the back. You can see the city off, but they have like these little areas that are specifically built for this. Now it may not be in like a ring type of structure, like they may have made something more natural, but it's definitely one of those. Okay, so yeah, there's a lot of this. I mean, Tokyo is also kind of a water town, so there's a lot. Oh God, there we go. There's a lot more accurate for. But there's like gardens, ponds, trails. There's ways to get out into nature, hike around, explore, all those things. And that's kind of sort of the aesthetic. It doesn't have to be like Japanese as in like the type of trees and stuff, but like I like that feel of like, there's like this natural kind of pond and places around there. So that's what I'm trying to convey. I just don't know how to type it out. So
I do feel there need to be cherry blossoms, though.
there needs to be cherry blossoms.
Yes.
Okay. I love that you're adamant about this. There needs to be cherry blossoms. So, buildings. Oh, we already had building stuff in there. Okay. I put building stuff in there. Nature, natural, areas, natural areas that were, okay, so the natural areas were actually carved out. Okay, and were out were I'm just gonna say man-made for lack of a better term. Were man-made. Okay. These spaces were man-made for the purpose of restoring nature, restoring nature
To the crater. Yeah.
to the crater. Okay, so first off, let's see. Cherry blossom trees are usually found here. Okay, an assortment of there are walking paths around oh yeah, there are walking paths around small lakes. How many of these areas do we want to have? And I would assume they can be put on different levels. They're not all on the same level, or are we going to have one level that's just entirely that? I feel like it would make more sense to have them on different levels.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, okay.
Like it, because otherwise it would be just like the cherry blossom district or the nature district or something like
Yeah,
that.
Okay,
exactly.
So question about the lakes.
Uh-huh.
Since we're looking at man-made lakes, and this is supposed to be based on like if a Buddhist temple became a large city in a sense,
Yes,
right?
essentially, yes.
So my question is, do we want to go based off, obviously that they have 7?
Ooh. So several large lakes
What's-
with gardens and stuff around them.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh,
I say 7 just because 7
Buddhist.
virtues.
Yes,
yeah, and all
yes.
that.
No, that absolutely. When you said 7, it clicked. I was like, oh, I'm on board, dude. Yeah. Okay.
I figured there was some kind of significance. I just didn't know what it was. I'm on board though.
It's also like obviously we don't want anything 4. No 4 in Japan. No.
Well, we're not specifically making a This is on Zalura. This isn't a Japanese
I
planet.
know, but it homage to that in a sense.
An homage
All right, so
or
for
homage.
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 hummus.
Hummus. The lakes are filled with hummus.
Hummus.
Fun fact, my dad lived in the Middle East for
couldn't
some time,
hear
specifically in
anything after-
Israel.
Okay.
And
The lakes are
Never
made
mind.
of hummus. What did everybody say in response to that? Because my headphones came unplugged.
You were talking about your dad in Israel. Continue.
yes. My dad in Israel, the way they pronounce it is like with the
Hummus?
sound in the
You
back
mean-
of your throat. So they say hummus. It's
You
kind of
mean-
weird.
You mean hummus?
Yeah, pretty much.
But if it's a lake made filled with hummus or hummus, makes you want to take a dip, huh?
Sure enough.
But
Make you want to eat it.
That was one of those kind of moments. Okay. So the next thing up, since there are 7 locations in the city for the lakes and the parks that surround them. Are we saying that they're lakes or like large ponds?
I would say maybe one is considered a lake. The rest are just ponds on different levels.
For the parks?
I would say it would be interesting if one of the lakes was actually made by the crater when it crashed.
You can't, no.
No, I know, but it's
I'm not sure if physics could back that up.
Well, we can't because we've already decided that the tower that holds the main body of the government, or at least the important governmental monks, are all located there. Like they literally built their sacred tower in the center of the crater, where the deepest impact was.
all right.
Is the most commonly used. The ponds, they all interconnect to the one lake. No, these are all man-made, so they would not be technically connected. We could say that there are runes that are constantly keeping the water level up. So underneath, they could either absorb water or emit water in order to maintain kind of a steady. Yeah, the most commonly used. There is one that is an actual lake. It is the most commonly used spot for relaxation and recreation. Okay. There is life that exists. There is an ecosystem. Instead of life, an ecosystem. In the ponds and the lake. You know what would be really great? If my freaking keyboard would cooperate with me when I try to type.
It happens. Technology, right?
No, it happens way too frequently for it to be just a typical kind of thing. All right. The nature areas were a thing. Let's get back to the water. It can be generated from runes, collected from rains. Water flows up from the crater to prevent flooding. It is purified as the water passes up. Inside, the water is purified using a purification barrier. The downward flow of liquid. Okay. It reaches the lip of the crater. It flows downward into the outlying farmland and is to keep the land the land fertile. Right? Think that's good? Fertile. That's a good word. I'm asking, I'm not telling. Fertile land, fertile soil, rich soil.
I would say rich soil makes sense.
All right, so once it reaches the lip of the crater, it flows downward into the outlying the outlying farmland. And why are there two spaces there? That makes no sense. Okay, did I mean? Yes, I meant that. Outlying farmland and residential areas to keep the soil rich and fertile. Soil rich. Okay, you know what? Just rich is fine. To keep the soil rich. To keep the soil rich by feeding into rivers that then feed to tributaries and creeks. So we've literally created a man-made irrigation path that is giant-sized.
Yep.
Water runes used to generate water when rainfall is not available. Gravity runes are used to direct the flow of water up and out of the crater for purification and storage. Storage water is stored outside the lip of the crater. Water supply is used as a source for nearby irrigation systems and rivers. There's more than one because, you know, I would say at the very least there should be 3 rivers. There are 3 major rivers. Flow from the land above. It would help immensely if I could type better. Okay. There are 3 rivers that flow from Academy City out into the land above. That's what I wrote. That's what I got down.
Okay. Yeah, because I do remember we had the rivers that help like remove excess water from the city.
They remove excess water, not access. Access is
I,
gain.
you
Yeah.
know what I know what I said.
Yeah.
Grammar police.
They remove excess water, but they're also like it's
Using it-
it's a double-edged sword because the water that's being flown that is flowing out because it's starting at the bottom and flowing its way back up. That means it's getting really saturated with magic, which is helping to make the land even more fertile and rich. So the fact that water is being pushed out there means that it's also doing wonderfully to it's doing a lot of really good things to the land above. Will be directed underground to filtration composting. Okay.
I hit the wrong button.
You hit the what?
I hit the wrong button on something.
Oh, okay.
and it took me out.
Okay, sewer gases may include hydrogen sulfide, ammonia, methane, esters, carbon monoxide, sulfur dioxide, and nitrogen oxides. Wow, we went into detail on that. Broken down into its base elements. Waste is broken down into its base elements. Okay, so we've done some basic design on... Okay, buildings have a more modern feel to them, but don't clash too harshly with the vegetation and nature around them. Most of the buildings are for academy use, classrooms, training area, libraries, and living quarters. Okay. Let's see. Power is generated. Let's see. How do we say? Power is generated through magic that is passed through runes. Actually, do we really need to do that right now? Okay, so we're not going detailed into somebody's room just yet. I don't think we need to get quite that. But if he's got questions like that, I can answer those for him.
I think the main thing that we need to focus on is just the
geography.
Geography and the architect of this city itself, not the interior stuff.
Mm-hmm. The architecture. Yeah.
Now, I have to ask, are we going with that? There's obviously districts in the city, correct?
Are you talking about like class separation?
Well, I mean, like, you could say class separation. Or...
No, they don't have them like that.
Well,
Academy City is specifically built for the academy. If you're going by districts based on class, that's the city above, most likely. There's not... If you're asking if there's like a Drakenfell wing, no, they don't do that. They don't separate...
Well, no.
The different races are not separated from one another. They commingle.
Well, what I mean by districts is like what Calvin brought up was like a Lotus district or something like that.
I don't know what you're talking about. I never had any plans to do any districting. It was more like okay, the outer areas are for newer students. The inner areas are for students that have been there for a while, and teaching staff. Teaching staff would be closer towards the center. That was how I initially thought of it. It's not necessarily broken into districts, though. If you want to look at it this way, the lesser important people like custodial services, they live up in the city and stuff like that. But for the most part, it's more like a giant city that's built around a school. Or it's a giant school that was turned into a city. So, yeah. I think we're trying to look at it from the well, actually, no, I don't know what perspective you're trying to look at, because you're like a Lotus
I'm
district.
looking at it like,
And I'm like,
obviously as a city. I was just trying to get an idea of, like, I'm using one of the games I'm playing in. I'm playing in a city called Epsilon,
uh-huh.
and in the center of the city, there's a huge tower where they keep the most important object.
Mm-hmm.
But around the city, there are different districts.
Uh-huh.
For just like a little bit of government to help manage governmental issues within stuff, like, oh, I need a guard at this area.
So you're trying to separate it into governmental, finances, and security.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
No, there are no districts for that. That's all of that happens right from the center.
Okay.
That's where it all stems from. And
would there be different branches then throughout different parts of the city?
That's a good question. I don't know. Like, if you're trying to segment the city into certain, like, this group is this group, their headquarters is here, this group, their headquarters is there. I don't know. I'd never thought of it that way. Mostly because I don't think I wanted to do that. Because when you put it like that, to me, it feels like we're doing the Uchiha thing. And I'm like, I don't want to do that.
That's not what I'm trying to do.
Gotcha.
I'm playing in a game that I'm an officer.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, the higher-ups are going to be at the center.
Yes.
But I still have my branch that I'm a part of. And I have one part of the city that I do my job in. How do I describe this?
I think I get what you're trying to say, but the answer would probably be no. Each teacher is responsible for their own like little area. Like, the teachers for that area of the school, they're not just in charge of the students, they're in charge of like a lot. And there are also specific students that are put in charge of like safety and stuff like that. So in a way, it's kind of like having an RA that's kind of in charge of a lot of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, it just seems like a lot of responsibility for the teachers is all. But I can get that.
You don't know how many teachers there are. It's best to think about this as a giant, like, college kind of complex. Like, if an entire college community was a city, in a way. I mean, but now I've, like, this has kind of sparked a thing in my head where I'm trying to focus on what you're trying to tell me, but at the same time, I'm like, shit, what are we going to do about transportation? That was the immediate thing that popped into my head, because...
Which ties into what I'm kind of addressing.
Well, it's transportation, not just for the, like, certain groups or whatever. It's also transportation for the people above that work there in all the different areas. See, if we do it like this, it gets way, way complicated. Way
That
more than
wasn't
I
the
was
goal.
intending. Way more than I was intending for it to be. Because now
Well,
I'm like,
I'm-
well, instead of the workers living up on the other side, well, they must have a place in fucking Academy City. So now we have to designate a place for them. What are their working conditions like? Are they pissed? Are they happy? You know?
I'm just trying to flesh out
Do
the
they
world.
have a union?
I would hope so.
I don't know, man. The Academy, I don't think would deal with that. It'd be more like, no.
All right.
The Academy,
So
the governing monks, I feel like would be a bit more authoritarian than just, oh yeah, sure, you can have a union. Like, nah, man. There's got to be some parts of this that we can't talk about why that are already kind of dark.
Oh,
Like-
I
Like
know.
we can't. Like it's one of those things on the outside. It looks perfect, but it's not perfect. It's not in shambles. Like it's not about to crumble. It's not like horribly fucking corrupt. It's not perfect. And I mean, those imperfections are gonna make it what it is. But I'm just asking about stuff from an architectural standpoint. We can dive into more of that later because, like, the more we start talking about this, it's like, Jesus Christ, why
no,
are
no,
we
no.
leaving this planet? We're just gonna be fucking working on Academy City for the next year.
I'm only asking just because I was bringing it up to architect because I live here in a city.
Yeah.
And well, obviously I live
And of course,
in a-
it's segmented into
park,
different
so, like,
areas that police can properly
Yeah.
patrol
Well,
and cover.
on-
Yes.
well, it's also because some cities have designated colors of how they want particular buildings in this area.
No, it would be uniform. It's the Academy. From an architectural standpoint, no, it would be pretty uniform as far as the overall look. You're not gonna have multicolored buildings.
Well,
If there is a color code, it's only simply so that you can know that, hey, this particular building is for training. Like it's not going to be one of those things where you can just color your. In fact, that sounds like a thing that Alex would have done, is just colored one of the buildings up just because she thought it would be hilarious. That's one of her pranks.
or they could color coordinate it by what kind of classes are taught there too. Like what I mean is similar color, but maybe there's a band of color that goes around the building that's different.
I mean, I was thinking they'd just have like a symbol or a marker or something that says that's basically that.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Man. Because a lot of the colleges that I've been to, they don't have like a color coding stripe or different colors and stuff. Man, I really need Sean in here. 5 minutes is enough simp time. Wait, what? If you go to the RA and teacher route, you can have one area where it's very strict rule-wise and very lax in another. That's also true.
Mm-hmm.
You start things up.
But did someone leave?
Yeah, Calvin had to bounce.
Oh.
And Char's is gonna leave too.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. It was nice talking to you guys, though.
Later.
See ya.
Later. Okay.
Okay. I sent a nope, that's the One Piece wiki. Not the link I wanted to click on. Thank you. Of course, now I absolutely understand what I've got myself into because I sent Sean an invite and I'm like, oh, this could go terribly.
I'm sorry.
do you mean you're not receiving enough? Yes, you are. You're a liar. Damn, Calvin Char. Yeah. It's not going to be very entertaining right now, I don't think, with just me and Fel. But, you know, it is what it is. So,
Yeah, sorry guys. We're just discussing
discussing.
Stop.
You said discussing.
We are.
Your Sean Connery came out.
Apparently so.
Apparently so. These are the conversations we're having. Also, what how dare you do a Sean Connery accent too soon?
Do you think I would do it on purpose, sir?
Man. Who is Sean Connery?
If someone asks that in chat, I will cry.
Why? Because it's a Jeopardy question?
Oh.
Nothing
What?
is sacred. Nothing is sacred.
Oh, too soon.
Did someone say Sean? Yeah, but it's spelled differently. Ah!
You're
How
making
da-
me cry now.
How dare she ignore me? Oh. Like I'm worried about that. I make people cry all the time. You're no exception.
I know, but
I'm
I
gonna
can
give
still
her a call.
cry. It's still recent.
Let's see. There we go. Dude, this feels like the most lackluster episode we've done.
Well, yeah, we don't have fucking Calvin.
We don't have
we don't-
Sean. Oh, wait.
Yeah,
I know. I'll be around about 9. No. But I love that she's like, I'll be around about 9. No, I was literally asking you to come on now. 9 her time. It's 9:20. Get in here. So we got 40 minutes that we got to wait on. Jesus. See, I think Calvin should have left when he needed to leave earlier and then just freaking... He would have been on by about now. Instead of chilling over there. I could have stalled for like an hour. It's not that difficult. There's a level of pressure and a lack of excitement, I feel, because, like, I don't necessarily know what else to do. As I look at this, I go, oh, well, the main thing was just figuring out the nature areas. And I think a lot of it's just going to be us chatting with Laz.
it's going to be working with Laz on a lot of this.
Yeah, I think it is. I think it's going to be answering some questions. And it's just basically going to be like, hey, man, type this shit out. We're going to have a meeting about it. Just send your questions.
Not going to do on stream.
No, we can't do that meeting on stream.
I know.
There's no way.
That's what I literally just said.
Laz knows way more information than the stream does, though, about Infinity Slate. Shit, he drew most of it. Fudge, man. This is a really unproductive stream.
I mean, it's been...
And because we're just waiting on everybody, it's gonna be Yoshimi, I don't have time. Don't yell at me. Don't all caps. Clearly I'm in the middle of something. It's not one of those things you should be yelling at me about in the freaking chat. And just because you told me to do it, I'm now not going to, even when the stream is over. That stuff can wait till later. I would have checked it on my own naturally. Don't go hollering at me right now.
We're focusing on some stuff. Serpent brings up a question that I don't think we can answer.
How
For
is the
the
city's
academy side.
underworld? Are you talking about like the shady stuff that goes on? Doesn't have one. Mostly because the monks control everything. The seedy underworld is the seedy overworld.
So yeah.
Like I said, there's not a lot of corruption there. There's no need to. Thieves and assassins. Ah! Ha ha! Ha 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 ha! Bold of you to assume that they would have made it to Zalora. Especially Academy City. No, those don't exist there, Serpent. I mean, they do, but they're specifically trained, but not to be thieves, or specifically, I mean, assassins, yes, maybe, but it's mostly, they work directly as guardians. Like, they're trained for stuff like that here at the city. That's literally a set of classes. So it's not like, oh, the seedy underbelly and crime, and I was like, yeah. Bold of you to assume that I would care. It's like, I snark in your general direction. I'm like, okay. Like, bold of you to assume I won't snark in your general direction. Snark away. I can't see it. What is, if I can't see it, what is it to me? Also, I don't even know what kind of snark you're making. There's like levels of snark. Clearly. Serpent, you're asking a lot of questions that I can't answer. Who is the overlord? Like, guys, we're talking about the design of the city, not the layout of the community. Like, we've already pretty much figured out the community. It's just the architectural design. That's what we're working on. Jeez. Man, I should have stated that up front, because like everybody's trying to ask like questions that are not pertaining to the city itself, and more like not the city as far as architecture. It's like
the questions we're looking for are,
here's the thing, guys. We can't get Laz to just draw the seedy underbelly of the city, because it's not something that you would see. Now, would it? Would it be something you would see? No. The whole point of Academy City is it's supposed to be this beacon of like goodness, and like it's essentially like it's literally where the light fell. It is the most pure. It is the most freaking it is the best of what everybody could possibly be. Now, does that mean that they don't have their problems? No, of course they absolutely have their own problems. You get a bunch of different races of beings together, and you cram them all into one space. Even if it is a giant space, you know, you're still going to have problems. But like, if you're looking for like crime infested, like that's the like crime infested underworld kind of stuff, that's not going on here. That's not the place we're making. If you want something like Mos Eisley, it's probably further on over on the planet. But like, guys, you gotta realize it's like if a bunch of Buddhist monks made a city. It's one of those kind of things. This is essentially kind of like the Vatican for like a Buddhist kind of thing, except it's bigger than the Vatican. The Vatican's like what, 2-3 square miles? It's not that big. But this is like their Vatican or their Mecca, or you know, things like that. You bunch of paladins. Well, if we're going with the D&D theme, yeah, probably. All right, so I think that's half of the problem is that we focus too much on the community structure where we need to be approaching it from an architecture thing. But I don't have like an architect's mind. I'm just like make pretty building. Like I don't know how to do this shit. So sitting here trying to describe it, like I'm racking my brain and I have no answers, you know? I'm sending questions up and nothing's coming back, you know? That's why I wanted you guys on.
It's just difficult because we don't have the person who we need to talk to.
Yeah, you're like, oh, architecture, and I'm sitting here like fire bad, tree pretty.
See, my mom's an interior designer. I could focus on the interior.
I'm really good at the interior, but you're trying to like building a city
We're
from
talking about
scratch
the
with the
exterior.
exterior.
I know.
I don't know how to do this shit. We need somebody that does. We seriously need somebody that does. And all the people that would think about this and ask these questions aren't here right now.
You know,
Sean's not available for another 30 minutes, and I'm like, why the hell do I bother trying to set up at the same time? Like, why do I bother trying to set this up for 8
I don't
o'clock when
know.
nobody's going to show up? Fuck all y'all.
I showed up.
Apparently 9 o'clock is what we're going to have to change these to from now on.
Jesus Christ.
9 o'clock my time. 9 o'clock my time, because that gives Calvin enough time to be on. That gives, like, an hour for Sean to show up and, like, do her thing. I don't know what's going on with the stream. I think OBS is just being stupid. Is the stream lagging out for anybody?
Not that I see. Nothing's been moving.
Yeah, apparently, guys, when people come in and ask, "Hey, what is this thing that I'm watching?" and then nobody answers them, that pisses them off, and that's why we're probably getting those downvotes. So remember, or those dislikes. So remember when I said earlier that the chat has to explain when somebody's like, "What is this?" Somebody should explain. We need a mod in the chat specifically just to do that.
Well, you mean a moderator so that we don't focus on it? And
Yeah,
they
that
can
we
answer?
don't have to focus on it and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Not trying to be mean, chat. But we need a
But
mod.
like all of our mods for Fat Dog are away.
Yeah.
It's just we can't keep going back and answering the questions over and over. We'll never get anything done. Man, it's going from red to orange,
This is the
to yellow.
weirdest.
Oh man, this is the way. This is the weirdest.
YouTube has been.
Yeah, YouTube's been kind of shit lately. Oh, happy Friday the 13th, by the way.
Yeah. That explains why we're having weird stuff.
No, it's just how it is. You're like, it's Friday the 13th. No, it's 2020.
I'm trying to make it funny.
Nope. Nope.
Someone's asking for the layout of the city.
We don't have one. That's literally what we're trying to figure out. But I mean, to be fair, I've kind of had like a lot of the civil engineering and structure of this going for a while. I'm running out of stuff to talk about though, because like I don't know what to do. I don't know what to say. And I don't want to keep going with this boring route and like streaming and we're not doing anything. Like I feel like we're doing everybody a disservice by just having like these moments of just quiet.
Do we want to play a horror game?
No,
Why?
just because it's Friday the 13th doesn't mean we have to play a horror
Come
game.
on.
No.
Oh.
If I jump back into gaming, it's gonna be Destiny.
Okay. Well, I was offering like we could do Friday the 13th for old time's sake, but
Friday the 13th just had its last update, and like it's basically dead now. Like its final update.
oh, it had its actual last update. Wow.
Yeah, it's they're no longer gonna be working on the game and fixing any of the bugs and stuff. It's done. Besides, we're gonna be playing plenty of scary shit next Friday.
True.
That's the other reason why I wanted to get shit done this Friday, because we weren't doing an Infinity Friday next Friday.
I know, and I was ready to. I came on ready to do work.
Yeah, I did too.
We
But
just don't
like, but the thing is like when I was like, "Hey, let's get together, let's do this," and then Calvin was like, "Well, I'm out," and I'm like, "Fuck," and then you were like, I'm still working on stuff," and I'm like, "Well, fuck. Why do I bother?" And there went all of my motivation, and I have not gotten any motivation back. Like all the motivation that I worked on. It's so funny how easy it is for me to just lose all motivation.
I was sorry I was running a little late. I do apologize for that.
I'm not asking for an apology. I'm just saying that since nobody else showed up, I kind of like it just happened. I lost motivation. And because of that, like I'm lackluster trying to get this done. Like I had motivation and I had stress, and then it all just went away, and I was just like, it was replaced by disappointment. But no, I literally don't. I don't think we're gonna be able to get any more of this done until we have like Sean or something on, and unfortunately we're not going to be able to sit here and just do nothing for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna have to just end the stream here because like literally we're not doing anything at the moment. So yeah, I'm gonna end the stream, guys. Thank you so much for coming by. Sorry this was such a crappy stream episode. I'll see you guys on the next one, which will probably be 2 weeks from now, where hopefully we'll know more. I'm sorry, there's nothing that we're gonna be able to talk about or do that can fill the time right now on stream, and I'm not jumping into gaming content just because we're out of ideas or we're having to wait on people to bounce questions off of and do ideas with. Like, no, guys, we've got way too much stuff that we have to work on, and I can't jump into gaming content because of that. Like, we've got to finish up Slime stuff, we've got to finish up Infinity's Light stuff, we've got to finish up all sorts of stuff, dude. All sorts of things are going on simultaneously, and I just can't. I just can't do side stuff.
We can't do like the stuff that we want to do at the moment, there's other things that need to be done. And at the moment, there's stuff that we did what we could for this.
Responsibilities are getting in the way of fun.
Yeah.
Also, as funny as it seems, like, no, we're not going to be doing any of that. And if your question is about Miki, I'm not going to answer it. I've purposely been ignoring it. You're like, how is Miki? I'm like, you'll find out. Didn't y'all literally have her on like 3 days ago on Tuesday? Wasn't she there? Like,
Oh, they said hello to Sean.
yeah, I can say hello to Sean for you. That's not a problem. But no, I'm not gonna answer any questions about Miki. So don't. This is not the place to ask them. I will ignore them. Just straight out. Like, Infinity's Light is what we should be focusing on. So that's the for Infinity Fridays, I want to just focus on Infinity's Light. I don't want to answer questions about abridging. I don't want to talk about Fat Dog, any other Fat Dog projects. I just want to freaking focus on Infinity's Light, because I don't get enough time to do it. Like, every other thing Fat Dog consumes all the rest of my time. Infinity Fridays is pretty much the only time I get to work on Infinity's Light, and I'd like to work on Infinity's Light stuff instead of answering so many different questions about all of our other content, most of which I either can't talk about or I'm not a part of, so I can't answer that. Or, you know, like, so, or like, you know, it's really distracting when I'm like, hey, let's work on Infinity's Light stuff, and I'm trying to look at the chat and see if there's any questions that we should probably answer, you know, to new people jumping in. And then it's like 3 things about, you know, our abridged stuff, which I'm glad that people are interested. Don't get me wrong. But usually at the beginning, I try to cover that stuff. Anyway, that's it for us. Fel, you got a plugs or shout outs or anything that you want to do?
Not tonight.
Yeah, same.
Not
Alrighty. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Sorry for the lackluster stream.